Well, first off, I don't know if it's a superstition or what, but I had this Lukowski collar on my cat, and it's like I wound him up, right? Now he's like a maniac bouncing off the walls. I don't know if he's got more energy or some shit. I don't know what the deal is. Last video I made, he was going around like this, like Ricochet Rabbit, and bouncing off the walls. And they said those kind of cats are kind of energetic. But now he's opening up every drawer. Well, I don't know. He's not doing that much, but he seems like he's a little more lively. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. You know, and I ain't sure because I didn't think that thing was going to do anything because he's a healthy cat, you know. But I put it on him anyway. I'm wearing like 3 to Lukowski collar. I'm wearing 3 to Lukowski devices, actually ankles, wrist. I mean the wrist, the neck, and the body itself, right? There he goes. He's flying. I don't know, man. He must be got some more cosmic rays going into him or something. I have no idea. But anyway, I'm going to put out a theory about Bob Beck. I think the guy was a good guy, and I think the boogeyman got him, man. The boogeyman. To watch out for the boogeyman. You know what I mean? The boogeyman's going to get you. Anyway, it's at this video, I think it's 25 minutes and 17 seconds. It was with Eric Dollard. He was talking about Lukowski's multi-wave oscillator. Now, I like the idea behind this device because, you know, versus like something that's specifically designed for disease or something like that, it's really just taking frequencies of the body and attempting to bring them all up to par, up to optimization. Which in effect works against the bad stuff, seems to. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, I got the information from Italy and Europe and stuff. So I'm gonna get into it a lot. I mean, I already figured out. You know, if I'm gonna have like take me a gazillion years to make Tesla coils and those spark plug gaps. Now I'm pretty mechanically inclined. You know, I know what an ignition coil is. I can get one of those things. I know what a spark plug is. Anyway, I know what copper tubing is. I can bend it. You know, actually, I'm going to tell you right now that if the device seems extremely complicated to you, which it may be, I don't know how complicated it really is. If you really break something down into pieces, it's not that complicated. Anything you break down into pieces, it's not like I have to discover it. It's like it's been discovered. So I have to, you know, put it together myself. But the rings themselves have benefits without even having power behind them. And, you know, I have one of them on my wrist, one of them around my neck, one of them around my neck and waist. Actually, there's a hematite one with a slight gap in it that has a silicone tube gap in it. And the cat's collar has like a piece of copper with a little hook, like a little ring hook on the end. They work like little capacitors. I don't know if that thing's working, but I'm beginning to wonder, man, to tell you the truth, man. He's like pretty lively. He's a young cat, but he's like more lively than usual. But the thing is, it looks like. Well, I'm going to point to this video at 25 minutes and 17 seconds. You know, Bob Beck knew all about this. He was the one that actually found one of the devices back in 1963 in a California hospital in the basement. He was the only guy that could get it up and running. So in this video, it was on YouTube, and I'll point to the link. It was in 1986. This is before Bob Beck got sick with cancer, was in a wheelchair, and was going around talking about his blood electrification device. But it's interesting, he talked about this thing curing stuff flat out. He was putting paper, you know, he says he was like the gatekeeper for 99.9% of the devices that come in through California. And he says, this thing worked. He says, the one thing is, if you want to check something versus, you know, have it, you know, a placebo effect to see if it really works, see if it works on an animal. And, you know, that's what I always figured too. That's common sense all the way. You know, if you ever want to figure out if something's good stuff in the alternative medicine world to figure out what's snake oil and what is real. First off, the two things I really check to see if it's good or bad. First off, it better not be a ripoff. You know, before I even get into the first off, it better not be a ripoff. You know, it better not have a free 1-800 number on it too. You know, because I smell scam there. But if the ancients used it in different cultures, one right there, that's an indication. Now with electricity, that's kind of like not too many ancients use that. They use magnetism maybe, but the number two thing is if they use it in the veterinary world. If the people that are vets use it for dogs and cats, if they say this works against diabetes or this works against this and that, you know, pain in the elbow or whatever, pain in the paw, you know, it would. Then you have a good indication that it's probably legit, even when they're talking about it in the alternative human world, because the animals can't say, you know, they don't know what the hell they're getting in their doggy dish or their cat dish or what they're getting rubbed on their fur, you know. If they couldn't walk around good and all of a sudden they walk around good, you know, it's not a placebo effect, you know what I mean? They don't know. So that's a really good way to tell. That's the way I freaking tell, because I don't trust people, man. I mean, sometimes they heal themselves with their own mind, you know, that's the other thing. But it seems like this device worked like crazy on the animals too. Like they had an old police dog. He gave an example. You know, he couldn't walk around. He's 15 years old and was dragging his legs, and he gave him this thing, and it was like walking around really good. I don't know, man. So, but you know, you can make the coils, and you can make the coils in whatever the Fibonacci sequence. I got some. Coil, I think, coming pretty soon. I don't know. I got some bids on eBay on the stuff. Get some coils. I got some. The way I'm going to do it, they're already coiled up, so you're not going to put kinks in them because they come in a coil. It's so you're probably not going to worry about putting kinks in them. But if you actually want to make a coil with copper that's without kinks, use the brake line benders. They're like springs. I got them someplace, and you fill the damn things up with sand. If you got to make some crazy bends in them, but they usually come coiled up. You know, a roll of copper tubing comes coiled up anyway, so you just maybe got to stretch it out a little bit so you can make the coils. I'm probably not going to put them on strings, so they're not going to oscillate by themselves too much. I'll probably put it like with PVC, small piece of PVC. It'll be stuck on there, or go through there or something, or with a notch or something. I'm not sure. But I'm going to make several of these Lakowski coils, and I'm actually going to have them in the house. One where I sleep, one in the office, one in the kitchen, where I actually am most of the time. So I'm going to get them raised, man, all the time, man. I'm going to make them. I'm going to make them. But it looks like somebody got to Bob Beck, because the blood electrification device is not. It's pretty damn good, but I'm thinking this Lakowski device is it's like you're using the power of the universe or something. I have no idea what the hell's going on with it. It's freaking cool as all hell, you know. It's like what he said, the secret of life. I don't know. It's cool. And the powers that be don't want you to have it. You know what I mean? How come, you know, if the guy got... I'm saying Georges Lakowski got murdered in 1942. That was no accident. New York City, right? You know, they call it an accident. I'm not saying it's an accident. The only reason I'm saying it's not an accident for sure is that the machine, they stopped offering the machine in the hospital right after he died. Oh, it's like because he's the only one that doesn't know how to use it. I'll get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here. You think he's the only person in the world that knows? I mean, something's already developed. I mean, they can look at it, take pictures, figure it out. They can mass produce it. You know, if that thing did even 10% of what, you know, it looks like it does, all those people in World War II that were injured would have been healed a lot faster. How's that? You know, people on the top are spiteful, conscious criminals, okay? And it ain't going to take, you know, people got to just run with the ball themselves. Like me, I never made a Tesla coil, okay? So maybe I'll have to make one of those or whatever, but you know, I'm making the freaking coils. I'm already wearing them. So you got to grab the ball and run with it as far as you can right off the bat if you want to go get something. Because don't wait for Alex Jones. Don't wait for Ben Fulford. You know, oh yeah, they're against the Illuminati. They're trying to get rich off of you, man. That's all these people are doing. That's all they're doing. They're trying to make money off of you, man. That's all they're doing. So Just going to give you the truth out there. And I'm going to say something else with this frequency stuff. I mean, I'm aware of a lot of the things. Like, when there's a building that has a big dome on it, and it's like, you usually see that with government political structures. It has a big dome, like Capitol building or whatever the hell it is. Or you'll have in churches, you'll see the big dome. That's concentrating energies in there. That's what that's doing. A lot of times, that's the way to freaking control people, man. That's all that shit is. It's control of the masses. If you want to think about what's going on, I could say a lot more stuff, but there are limits on YouTube, and it's not like YouTube's the problem, but when I say certain things, the religious get all pissed off. And then they start flagging the shit out of my real videos, and I'm getting annoyed at that kind of crap. So, I don't know, like, where I'm going to go to change that. I'm not sure. Because the religious, I'm finding out, are tools of the Illuminati, per se. They're tools of the elite. They're the foot soldiers, the enforcers of the crap that's being pushed on the masses. The religious. The religious. So just remember that. And actually, to tell you the truth, if I build one of these things, I'm not going to make one damn claim about it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find hookers, which are easy to find. And I'm going to just give them some rays, man. I say, let's see if this is like good vibration shit. What do you think? You want to try this out? And if all this shit they had was wrong, it was wrong with them, goes away, good. You know what I mean? So, and if it takes a hold in the underworld, that's where it's got to take a hold. It's got to take a hold because, quite obviously, the rule freaks, they'll never freak. The rule freaks, if you just tell them, oh no, that's not available anymore, they'll go, okay, bleep. Now, you got to think people, you got to get it out to people that are sinners and rule breakers. And then it's going to take off because it's the truth. People that aren't controlled. People that aren't controlled. People that think for themselves. The sinners. And that's where it's got to get to. The power and the secret of life has to go to the sinners. They will be saved. Synergy 7, Rabbi. Anyway. It looks like somebody got to Bob Beck, man. I don't know. Something's going on because, when you look at all his 90s videos and stuff about his, blood electrification, drinking ozonated water. I'm going to say this. He talked about it in this earlier video about injecting pure ozone. Man, don't do that shit unless you're a medical person. But you can find medical people in some states, even in the United States, do that stuff. But man, be careful with that stuff. I put a video out about rectal insufflation, whatever the hell it is. That's about as 90 to 95% as effective as injected into the blood, and a gazillion times more safer, even though a lot of people won't want to do that. So that's another way around it. But ozone can be far more powerful than just drinking it. Drinking the ozonated water is like nothing compared to using the other methods. And it's the cold corona discharge kind that's the healing kind. That's the kind that's got the healing power. That's the kind I use, man. Anyway, just want to put this out. It looks like the boogeyman got to Bob Beck, man. He wasn't a bad guy. He even had a thing on his video. I'll show you where it was. It actually starts talking, I think, at 25 minutes and 17 seconds. It's a long video. But he had like somebody brought over their sick little kitty cat in the middle of the night, and he had this, he had the multi-wave zapper thing, and he was giving it good frequencies, and the cat jumped, he healed the cat. I don't know. It's actually not a healing device, though. It's a device that touted to be, reported to be, help bring the frequencies of the cells up to par. In other words, your body's cells frequencies are going like 70 something, I think it is, on average. And as you get into worse states, when you get sickness, it's in 50 something in certain parts of the body, and cancers are like 40 something. Near death is like 20 something or something. Death is at 0, there's no frequency. So what it has is it's just trying to bring life like a booster charge to the body. But in effect, when it does that, the body overcomes the stuff that's trying to harm it. That's what it looks like. I don't know. I think that's a cool approach. Why try to destroy a parasite when you can make the other side of it stronger that destroys the problem, right? I mean, it's almost like using positive energy versus, it's like overcoming the enemy with positive energy. I like that idea. I like the whole concept better. I don't know. And I think some people get mad at me when I criticize Alex Jones because that guy is not a truther, man. I'll tell you that. There's something wrong with this guy. And I'm going to say something else here in the end. When Alex Jones walked into Bohemian Grove back in 2000, everybody uses that as proof that he's on the side of the people and all this kind of crap. I use that as proof that he's on the side of the elite. You know why? How the hell did he get in there when everybody else failed? They knew about Bohemian Grove for decades before that. It was on the news, major news. I don't know, 10, 15 years before he ever walked in there. In the 80s, it used to be on the news. They used to bitch that it was all secret and you had protesters. How did he just waltz right in there and get and do a film like that, like no problem? It wasn't that. I mean, how did he succeed where all these other people failed? And what was interesting is that was in 2000, I think August. That was right after he totally blew it with the freaking Y2K crap, and he was making all these outlandish accusations that the Russians were sending nukes and their nukes were on the way. Because he lost his credibility. He got his credibility back with Bohemian Grove. But guess what? The Bohemian Grove incident kills his credibility, in my opinion, even further. Because how did he get to do that when nobody else did? But now, man, people are going to there's going to be some people that are going to get so pissed off at me for saying this shit. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to say this, though. Think for yourself. You don't need a leader. I mean, it's good to have like a leader that's maybe legit or whatever, but think for yourself. Think for yourself. And like I said, I think this Lukowski thing is really cool. Now, I don't know how to make a Tesla coil right away, I'm going to figure it out, though. It's probably like, I probably can make what's out of a car ignition coil. I mean, I know some stuff. I know I can make those copper rings. I can make the 12 rings in this Fibonacci sequence. I can make some of them. And not even have them powered up, and they'll have effect. So what the hell, right? I'll start with step one. And I got the information from Europe and Italy. It's a cool book. I'm going to be reading it. It's very interesting. Now, it's a topic that I've actually been getting into for years with frequencies and things like that, and, what and the microelectrical approach to the body and all that stuff. I just never heard of Lukowski till recently, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. So, and you got to remember, the real top people don't want you knowing this, and they're foot soldiers. I'll say this again. They're foot soldiers that obey him, obey the top people. They're usually they're religious. They're usually religious because they can be told what to do easily. And it's like they follow everything. That's why they put him in the building with the big dome and the guy gets out there, whoever the hell he is, the religious guy or the political guy, and they're in the dome. It's bringing the frequencies. That dome actually brings in energies. You know that, right? I mean, people don't know that. But that actually structure of the dome, when it's in a big cathedral or something, or a political structure, that brings in energy. That brings in power from the universe. It's not like fake. There's actually, this shit is all around us. It's like we can't see it. There's like energies. That concentrates them. And it actually, when that guy's talking to people, it's almost like he's telling the insects how it is. And somebody's telling him how it is. So you tell me what's going on, pal. Anyway, it's going to tell you that the boogeyman got to Bob Beck. He gave us the truth. But actually, he gave us the full truth back in '86. So I'm going to show you this video. And I'll show you what I could possibly put together with this Lukowski device. I'm not going to be that good at it, but we'll see.